Welcome, my dear NEET warriors. The new chapter, motion in a straight line. We are going to see kinematic equations today, the most important application of that. And then in the next class, we will be seeing, free fall, that is motion under gravity. And then we will go on to graph questions, derivatives, and integration question. So all of this today with me, your captain Shreyas. Quickly let me know in the chat box if I'm audible, visible, and are you guys excited? How excited you are? Let me know. And if you have forgotten to smash that like button, please do that right away, right now. And of course, subscribe to the channel or else you're going to miss all the amazing content that we put over here. Yeah. Good evening, Ankita, Ashok. Hello. Welcome, my dear warriors. And nice to see all of you. By the way, if you have missed any of the previous classes, it's right on the YouTube channel. Go to the homepage. This is the 11th syllabus, chemistry, physics, biology, and NCERT line by line of the previous lectures. Also, playlist is there. And of course, the 12th syllabus is there right over here. It's not like 11th syllabus, only 27 students should watch. 26 students, please watch it. Don't ignore the 11th syllabus. In fact, you should be starting from your 11th standard syllabus. Don't jump directly to 12th, okay? Unless you have some decent part completed. Hi, Lakshmi. Hi, Bhadri. Good evening, Rosie. I can see some new students out there. Welcome. And let's begin with the class. And let's start with something called distance and then displacement. All right? Ready with this, my dear warriors? Now, to give you a simple example of distance versus displacement, imagine we have a Pandu. Pandu is some random dude out here. Okay? Hi, Amog. Welcome. Good evening, Lakshmi. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, I can see some of you have that crown symbol, number 3, number 2. What is that exactly? Is it like you get some points when you are a part of the channel or you comment or something? I would like to see the crown on everyone then. Yeah. So imagine there is a Pandu and he has to go back to the home after the school or college is over. But Pandus, chuma time pass they will do, they will go here and there and all. So that Pandu went like this, met 2, 3 friends, went to a shop, bought some chips, okay, went roaming somewhere, played something, and then came to his house at B. So the length of the path which Pandu took. So if you measure this length, this curved path, that is basically distance. So distance, distance is nothing but the length of the path traveled. Length of the path which has been traveled. Which has been traveled. Usually the unit of distance which we use SI unit is meter. Also, the symbol for distance is usually capital D, and distance is always more than 0 or equal to 0. It can never be negative. Very important. Say, if I travel this much, maybe I've traveled 5 kilometers, maybe I've traveled here, maybe I've traveled 20 kilometers, maybe I traveled only this much, maybe I travel few meters. If I go back, does not mean it's negative distance. If I go here and come back here, does not mean negative distance. Okay, distance is actual length of the path. So if you have ridden a bike or driven a car, you might have seen the odometer, which constantly increments as you travel. My vehicle has traveled 5,000 kilometers, 20,000 kilometers. So that is measuring distance. That is not going to reduce because you came back to your own house or you came back to the dealership or you came back to the original location. It will not come back. If you take reverse also, it will still increase. So it can never ever be negative. Is that clear? Manoj, good evening, everyone. Understood till this point? What is distance? Whereas, if you ask me how much has Pandu displaced, displace means, I was here, now I am here. How I went there, I don't care. How I went there, I don't care. Just tell me how much have you displaced. It's like, I'm not worried about the process. I'm worried about the outcome. I'm worried about the final outcome. That's it. I'm not worried how it happened. So I was here, now I'm here. I have displaced. I was here, I was now here. I have displaced this much. That is displacement. So from here to here, my position changed. So how much ever my position changed, that is displacement. That is displacement. Hi Moria, welcome. So displacement, displacement, displacement is nothing but the change in position. The change in position. So usual symbol for displacement is S, and since it is changed, we use the symbol delta. The symbol for position is usually R. R can be X coordinate, Y coordinate, Z coordinate, or combination of multiple coordinates. But this is a vector, so I'll put a bar over it. Remember, we have learned this in the chapter of vectors. Oh, by the way, a distance is, of course, a scalar quantity. It is a scalar quantity, right? Whereas displacement, of course, it's a vector quantity. SI unit still remains. SI unit is still going to be in meters. Dimensionally, it is the same, but it is a vector quantity. As you can see, it is the change in position. That means the final position minus the initial position. If I was at 2 meters, went to 7 meters, 7 is the final, 2 is the initial. So 7 minus 2, which is going to be 5. So 5 meters will be my displacement. All right. So I can just probably, highlight this up. Displacement vector symbol is change in the position. Delta stands for change. Change is always final minus initial. Never do initial minus final. Also keep in mind, as this Pandu moves here to here, this much is the displacement. It's not like Pandu has actually traveled this path. Pandu has gone like this. To his disappointment, the displacement is only this much. As you can notice, the displacement is definitely lesser than the length of the path traveled. This, if it is 7 meters, maybe this is totally 20 meters because it is longer. I'm going up, down like that. So usually you're going to find that distance our distance is more than usually the displacement, magnitude wise, value wise. Yeah, it's usually going to be more. But in a very peculiar case, that day Pandu had exam, so Pandu went directly to his home. So he went actually like this along the straight path. Then the displacement and the length of the path traveled both coincidentally will be the same. So that's why I can put equal to over here. So usually it is more than, but at times when you go along the straight path, it can be also equal to. So this is another relationship which you should definitely remember, not by heart, but feel it, because the length of the path will be usually more than the actual change, the shortest distance. But at times you can just go like that straight without going here and there, then your displacement and distance will be the same. Is this clear, everyone? Good evening, Evening Star. Hi, Pinky. Welcome aboard, everyone. Let me know quickly in the chat box if this is absolutely clear, my dear students. Yes, sir. Clear, sir. Better understanding I got. I will give you some more examples of distance and displacement. Observe this carefully now, okay? If I tell you, listen, boss, here, let me see the distance, and let's say the distance traveled is 0. Distance traveled is 0. And in the second scenario, the distance is traveled. There is some distance that you have traveled. And the corresponding options of displacement. Let's say here displacement is 0. Let's say here displacement is not 0. Let's say here displacement is 0. Let's say here displacement is not 0. Which of them are possible? Which of them are not possible? Let's think about it. Starting off with the first scenario. I have not traveled anything. I have not displaced also anything. Are you a donkey? That means like a donkey. Donkey does not move, stays there. Every time if you see, the donkey is just lying there. So yes, this is possible. And basically, you are most likely going to be at rest. So if you are at rest, then you're not traveling anything. Your displacement is also not there. Possible. Is this possible that I have no distance traveled, length of the path is 0, but I have moved. That means I was here, now I am here. If I have moved, because there is displacement, 100% I should have covered some path. How is this even possible? So guys, this situation is not possible at all. So this is not possible only. No matter what you do, it is definitely not possible. Is that making sense? Clear, everyone? Yes, Hema says clear. Yes, Fatima. Perfect. It's no. What about this one? There is some distance, but I have not traveled any displacement. It's possible, I feel. Can you guess how exactly is this possible? Imagine I come back to the same point. If you're back to the same point, what will happen? I have traveled some length, so distance is there, but since I'm back to the same location, my final and initial both will be same. So their subtraction, 2 minus 2, 0, 100 minus 100, 0, donkey minus donkey, 0, apple minus apple, 0. So final and initial being the same, you are having no displacement at all. So definitely it is possible. Is this possible? Oh, definitely. I mean, I am moving something and therefore I will have some displacement. So going from one point to the other, from one point to the other point. If you move, obviously, I mean, if you go like this, you have some displacement, you have some distance. So this is definitely possible. The only second scenario is not possible. Yeah. Third is possible, Fatima. Okay, just check it out. Okay, I just given you the example right away right now. Fourth is possible, of course. Third is also possible. If I go like this and I come back to the same point. So what has happened? My initial location and final location both are same. So in that case, distance is there, but displacement is not there. Displacement is always, you're not worried what happened in between. You're just worried about the final versus the initial. Oh, I have displaced? Yes. I have not displaced. Back to the original point. That's how it is. Is this absolutely clear, my dear warriors? Between distance and displacement, I've put some theory pointers just as written notes. Okay, I'm giving it to you. All of this will be available in the description box after the session is over. Okay, so please keep in mind all of this. All right, it will be there in the description box. And if you are not aware, just go to any kind of description box, like for example, like this. If you go, so you will find it over here. Okay, so any description box like this, if you go, you will see it over here. Okay, and smash that like button down there, guys. Yeah, and of course, yeah, it's right over here, PDF. And also remember, we have our batches which are going on. In case you have missed joining any of our batches, the pro batch is live right now. The pro batch for 2027, the link is there over here to book a demo. So please use this. Okay, so this link will guide you towards taking a demo of our lectures. It's absolutely free. Our academic counselors will help you through how this, batches are, what kind of teaching happens, everything, the timetable, schedule, everything. Every class is in the evening. Pure English batches are there. It's a proper 2-year course with all the material. You don't have to join anything else. You can miss completely offline. You don't have to join any other batch after this. And all our results, by the way, which you saw this year, like a student getting 99.9 percentile in physics in the toughest paper of NEET, that was all possible through online. Students getting into Olympiads, cracking biology Olympiads, getting gold medal for India, Vedantu students. So please check it out, because this is something which you will value it, you will cherish it, and you will be thankful that thank God I joined this batch. Okay, no hard and fast rules, just take a demo and then decide what you want to do. Right? Cool. So let's solve some questions coming up on your screen, and here it is. A person moves on a semicircular track, radius 40 meters. The start and okay, other end, find the distance covered and the magnitude of the displacement. Very straightforward. This chapter will take around 3 lectures. Ishpalani, okay? Around 3 lectures is what we will take. If a person is moving on a semicircular track of radius 40 meters, if he starts from one end and reaches the other end, find the distance covered. Okay, so here is what we can do. Straightforward, guys. First of all, distance traveled will be the semicircle's length, the length of the semicircle. The length of a complete circle is 2 pi r. So if I just put pi r, that is the length of a semicircle. What is pi? Well, I think pi we can take it as 3.14, and the radius, how much is it? It is given to be 40 meters. So that is the distance. But if you ask me what is the displacement, then this is my final, this is my initial. I've just went along this path. So displacement is nothing but the length of the diameter of that circle, which is 2 times the radius, which is 2 into 40, which in that case will be 80 meters. So find the distance covered and the magnitude of displacement. So displacement is 80 meters, but if you want to find the distance traveled, the distance traveled will be 4 into 3.14. So it will be close enough to 12 point something. Yeah, everyone till this point absolutely clear? Yes, evening classes, Ankita, are available for droppers. I mean, the classes are, see, if you are a dropper student, then I would suggest please go for this particular batch. Where is it? The rank guarantee batch. Okay, just check this out. This is a proper interesting batch for all the students who are very serious to crack it in the next 1 year. Please go for this. If you are not so serious, you are trying it out, then okay, there are hundreds of options available for you. If you're a dropper student, please check this particular batch. I mean, you just enter your details, we'll explain you everything, because this is something which is really for very, very serious future doctor aspirants. Okay, it's a proper guided course with personal mentorship. One-on-one mentorship is there in this particular batch. Okay. Volume 2 already done, Buddha. I think maybe modern physics is not done. So if modern physics is remaining, I will definitely do it for all of you. Okay. Now let us also talk about speed and velocity. Just like we had distance and displacement, same way we have speed and velocity. So imagine something was here, one Pandu was here, he went here. So obviously this would be the displacement of that particular Pandu. But how he has actually moved could be a completely different story altogether. Maybe the Pandu went like this to reach here. So that length of the path would be the distance traveled. So how he actually went to that particular place will be the length of the path, that will be the distance traveled. So if you ask me speed, if you ask me what is speed, speed is nothing but how much distance you have traveled, upon how much time you have taken, But usually, for now, let's discuss only average speed. So let's mainly talk about average speed, not instantaneous. Instantaneous we'll talk in terms of derivatives later on, not in this class. So the symbol for average, we can use VAVG or just use these triangular brackets. So if I put a symbol like F and I put triangle, that means I am asking you what is average force. If I put marks over here and then I put these brackets, it means I'm asking what is the average marks of the students. So the symbol for average, either you can put this or you can put the triangular brackets. Both of them are perfectly fine. Okay, so this will be the distance traveled, which is d, upon the time taken. Let's say I put it as t over here. Okay, so this is the formula. The speed is distance divided by time. Of course, it is having a SI unit of meters per second, because meters on the top, seconds below, and it is going to be a scalar quantity. All of them are scalars. Distance, time, they are scalars. They are not going to have any directional information attached with it. So that is the formula. So let me just block it off for you. And the next formula is average velocity. Average velocity. So what is this average velocity, my dear students? It is nothing but the displacement. How much is your displacement per unit time? So divided by the time taken. So in 1 second, how much am I moving in meters, displacing in meters per second? So the symbol for that, I'll have to put a bar, and because this is average, I will use these triangular brackets. Displacement symbol was S, and time taken, I can use this T, okay, or some people also like, instead of this small t, they use the symbol capital T for time taken. That is perfectly fine, because usually small t is like time at that instant. This is time taken. But you can also rewrite this as, displacement. It is change in position. So that means delta R, and time taken, T, is final minus initial time. Therefore, it is the interval of the time. So delta T stands for the interval of time, which can be represented as capital T. It's one and the same thing. Say for example, I saw some person at t is equal to 2 seconds and t is equal to 5 seconds. And I saw that in this process, that person has moved 12 meters. So if you ask me what is the time interval, it is the gap between them, which is 5 minus 2, which is basically 3 seconds. This is also nothing but the time taken, the time which has been taken, okay, which is 3 seconds. In 3 seconds, the person has moved 12 meters. So the average velocity will be nothing but 12 divided by 3, which is 4 meters per second. That is how it works. Is this clear, my dear warriors? Yeah, perfecto. All right. Can you, adding that poll takes a lot of effort, and a lot of issues are there regarding the lag, because when I'm talking here, by the time the video and the audio reaches you, it is around a 10-second lag. And by the time I wait and then you respond, and for that, if I respond, it usually creates a lot of vacuum in the video. So that's the reason why we don't do it. Okay. And Omar, if you want to become a god of physics just like me, trust me, you just need to follow my theory lectures along with the problem solving classes. See how I solve the questions, see how I think. Also practice lot of questions, starting off with just 5 questions today. Just solve 5 questions today or 10 questions today. Tomorrow increase it to 1 and increase it few more. And by the next few months, bring it up to at least 40 to 50 questions per day. That's it. If you build in that consistency, you are slowly going to master the subject. And you don't have to do very difficult questions in the beginning. Just do laddu level questions in the beginning, and slowly master the art of substitution, recollecting the formula, applying the basic concepts, and then slowly build up on that. There is no harm in doing first the easy ones and then building it up, rather than losing the confidence in the first few days and not doing it at all. Got it? All right. So that was your average velocity. And let me just, of course, block this off for all of you. It is again a vector quantity. It is a vector quantity, of course. So again, I have put the difference between both of them, average velocity and average speed. But let me just ask you a simple question. If I have average velocity is magnitude, and I have average speed, who do you think will be usually more? Who do you think will be usually more? Come on, think about it and answer it in the chat box. Yeah. Buddha, yeah, like I said, modern physics have not done the NCERT line by line. Maybe this year I will do it. Yeah. So modern physics includes that semiconductors in a way. So that last few chapters this year we'll do it. Yeah. What do you think, my dear warriors? Yeah. Yes, speed will have distance in the numerator, right? Speed will have distance in the numerator. Distance is usually more than the displacement. So that is the reason why average speed will be usually more. In the worst case, it will be equal to if you are traveling along a straight line path. Yeah, that is what it is. Correct. Average speed must always be, it is always positive, or 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 it can be zero also. It can be zero if the particle is at rest, whereas average velocity can be can be positive, can be even 0, and also can be negative. All of the following is possible. It can be positive, 0, or negative with regards to average velocity. Okay, but average speed is always positive or 0 because distances are never negative, but displacement can be positive or 0 or even negative in numbers. Okay, just to give you a certain example over here, imagine I tell you at t is equal to 1 seconds, x is equal to 7 meters. At t is equal to 5 seconds, x is equal to minus maybe 3 meters. Can you find the average velocity? Well, if I want to find the average velocity, here is what I'm going to do. Observe it carefully, guys. So average velocity is nothing but the displacement upon the time taken. Displacement is final minus initial position. This is also final time minus initial time. So as you can see, my final coordinate is -3 meters, whereas my initial coordinate is 7 meters. The whole thing divided by the final minus initial time. This is final time, this is initial time. So this is 5 minus 1. So -3 minus 7 is -10. 5 minus 1 is basically 4. So this is -5/2, which will make it minus 2.5 meters per second. So average velocity is minus 2.5 meters per second. Okay, great, perfecto, awesome. I'm so glad, Buddha, it helped. And a long time back, just I was dining somewhere in Bengaluru, and then one family was just sitting besides me, and then the girl came up to me and said, "Are you Shreyas Sir?" I was like, "Yeah." "Oh, I was watching your NCRT line by line series, and I was just very, very thankful that you did this series for us, and I have done my board exams exceptionally well. Now, I'm thinking of writing the NEET or maybe something like that." So a lot of students found that very helpful. So I'm so glad, guys, you guys have watched it and used it and improved your scores in your board exams and even in NEET, of course. Yeah. So this year too, we'll be using that series, and if something is not there, we'll complete it. Right. So average speed and average velocity, we just did it. So let's do some questions coming up on your screen. A particle moves along the sides AB, BC, and CD of a square of side 25 meters and the velocity of 15 meters per second. Velocity is given. What is the average velocity? Okay. So very interesting. The particle is moving this, and this sides AB, BC, and CD with a constant speed of 15 meters per second. So what is the average velocity is asked. In order to find this average velocity, what I need is the displacement upon the time. Now I'll tell you what the issue is over here. I was here, I went like this. So my displacement is exactly this much. This is my displacement. How much is that? That is exactly the length of the side. So the displacement is the length of the side of the square, which is obviously given as 25. But the problem is, what is the time? The time is what is not given. Oh my God, time is not given, sir. What to do, sir? Don't worry, my dear. First think, this side, and this side, if you add them, that will give me the distance, and that can give me the time. And we know average speed, is the distance that you travel upon the same time that you have taken to go from here to here. What is the speed with which you are traveling? Constantly you are traveling at 15 meters per second. So 15 meters per second is the speed like this. How much is the distance? This side, and this side. So it will be 25 plus 25 plus 25. That's the total distance that you have traveled. Is that clear, guys? This, and then you have traveled this, and of course then you have traveled this. That is the total distance you have traveled, and the time taken That is exactly what I don't know. So if I try to find that time, 25 plus 25 plus 25 is 75. Time I took it on the top, 15 I bring it over here. 75 by 15 is 5. So 5 seconds. So to go from here to here, you have taken 5 seconds, which is also the same time to displace. So this questionable thing is nothing but 5. So naturally, 25 by 5 is 5. So 5 meters per second is the average velocity. Loved the question, guys. So we had to do something else to find out the time, and that was then used to calculate the average velocity. Okay, perfect. Is this absolutely clear? Buddha, Sasuke, everyone, Omar, Ankita, come on. Ishpilani, Fatima, Hema, Ashok, Pinky, Lakshmi, Batri, Rosie, come on, everyone. Perfecto. Can we go ahead to the next question? This was asked in NEET 2023. What does it say? A vehicle travels half the distance with this speed and the remaining distance with some other speed. What is the average speed? What is the average speed? Okay. So let us draw, guys. Every time we face difficulty, we will draw the situation. Half the distance with some speed and other half with some other speed. So let's say this distance is x. This is also x. The vehicle travels half the distance with speed v and the remaining distance with a speed of 2v. Obviously, if the speeds are different, but the distances are same, the time taken will also be different. This is t1, maybe this is t2. Now let us consider the entire journey from here to here. That entire journey from here to here obviously will have a total distance of 2x. So that will give me the value of average speed. The average speed will be the total distance that you have traveled upon the total time that you have taken. Now, what is the total distance that you have traveled? This x and this x, which is nothing but 2x, and the total time from here to here and from here to here, which is this t1, and from here to here, that is t2. So it will be t1 plus t2. But this is not even there in the options. So am I missing something? Nothing. See, guys, we know that speed is distance divided by time. Therefore, what will time be equal to? What will this time be equal to? It will be nothing but distance divided by speed. So here to here, this time will be this distance divided by this speed, and this time from here to here will be nothing but this distance divided by that particular speed. So I know now T1 and T2 values, which I can substitute it over here, which is nothing but, I can just say it is x divided by v plus x divided by 2v. That's it. So that is in the denominator and everything else is as it is. Okay, I just put T1 and T2 values over here because time is distance by speed. What to do now, sir? Can you see something is definitely getting cancelled? What is it? This x, and this x. So what am I left with? I am left with 2 divided by 1 by v plus 1 by 2v. 1 by 2v, which is 2 divided by, take the LCM, LCM is 2v, so this will be 2 plus 1. Okay, taking it as 2, so 2 plus 1 will be in the numerator. So 2 divided by 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 divided by 2v. So obviously, if it is in the denominator of the denominator, it can go on the top. So this will just become 2 multiplied by 2v divided by 3. 2 2s are 4. So therefore, it will be 4v divided by 3. Is it there in the option? Yes. B for biology is the right answer. 4v divided by 3. Is this clear, my dear warriors? Perfecto. Can we watch your lectures which you took for NEET 2025? Definitely you can watch. But this year, especially I would say, please watch the recent classes because rhythm and that momentum, I would suggest watch the live classes so you will have a schedule, you will have a a momentum which will build up based on the current levels and patterns of NEET. Okay. Perfect, Sweta. Okay, let's go to the next question coming up on your screen. This was NEET 2019 question. A person traveling in a straight line travels with V1 certain distance, V2 next equal distance. Guys, this is just like the previous problem. Will you now be able to do this question as homework? See how the pattern is getting repeated. Same question, instead of V and 2V, now they are given V1 and V2. Will you be able to do it? Yes or no? I will not show you the answer. The answer will be there in the PDF of the description box. Okay. So please check it out. The link will be there in the description box. Right? So very similar. Instead of V and 2V, they have just given V1 and V2. Same distance, same type of question. You will be able to apply exact same method and you will get the answer also. Okay. Answer is there on the next slide. Solution is also there, but I will not show it to you. Homework question. Please post the answers in the comment section. Now let's do another type of question. This is also again a tricky question. This can definitely, make the gears which have stopped working in your brain, they will start moving. It will apply some grease on those gears inside your mind. If a car is traveling 2/5 of the total distance with V1 and 3/5 with V2, then the average speed is, okay, interesting. 2/5 and 3/5, not equal distances. So fifth means, imagine I take some distance and divide it into 5 equal parts, and then I take 2 parts of it, and then I take 3 parts of it. So I have an idea. How about thinking of it like this? This is one part, then this is another part, and then another part, and then another part, and then another part. So totally 5 parts are there over here. I call each part as X. Each part as X. Now, this first part which is there, which is basically 2x, you have traveled with v1 speed. That remaining distance which is there, which is basically 3x, you have traveled with v2 speed. Because speeds and distances are different, times will also be different. This will be t1. Let's assume this is t2. How much is t1 and t2? We all know that time is distance divided by speed. Makes sense? Because speed is distance by time, time is distance by speed. So this time will be this distance, which is 2x, divided by this speed, and time from here to here will be that distance divided by that speed. Very similar approach like the previous questions. Okay, I'll just keep it aside because I know I will most likely use this. That's, the forward thinking I used over here. Otherwise, how will it click that I have to find the times? Because I just solved the previous question, so I know I need the time to find it out. Now, if you consider the entire journey from here to here, the entire journey from here to here, that is a total distance of 5x. So if I want to find the average speed, that will be the total distance upon the total time. The total distance is of course 5x, and the total time is this time from here to here and this time. So it will be t1 plus t2. Okay, so 5x is as it is. What is t1 and what is t2? t1 is 2x by v1, t2 is 3x divided by v2. What happens, sir, now? This x and this x will get cancelled. It's there both in the numerator and the denominator. Okay, fair enough. So 5 is there, and 2 by v1 and 3 by v2 is there. So if you have to add 2 by v1 and 3 by v2, what do I need to do? Take the LCM. What is the LCM? It is v1 v2, and here we will have 2 v2, and here we will have 3 times of v1. This v1 v2 will go on the top, so it will just become 5 times of v1 v2, the whole thing divided by 3 times of v1. v1 usually will put it first, and v2 will put it next, so 2v2. So 5 v1 v2 by 3 v1 plus 2 v2, which is the D option. Perfectly correct. D for your AIIMS Delhi, guys. D for AIIMS Delhi. Okay. Hi, Cappy, Packy, welcome. Yes, thank you for reminding everyone to like the video. All right. Amazing, amazing. No, it is not the second option. It is the fourth option, the D option. Okay, be careful. So this kind of question can come in your NEET 2026 or NEET 2027. Okay, they are going to give you good questions, guys. In fact, right now, there is hardly any difference between the NEET level and the JEE mains level. Not of this year. Take the the COVID era JEE mains papers, how they were, versus the NEET paper. They are almost like that only. Expect one or two questions beyond JEE mains also. Okay, so there is not much of difference. The only difference which you can find is that it is not very mathematical intense in terms of you won't need the theory of conics, parabola, hyperbolas, and all of that, or even complex numbers and other things. So they keep it very limited mathematically. I'm not saying calculation wise, calculations will be there, but they won't ask you two mathematical intense questions because they know many students skip mathematics. PCB is the usual subjects which most of the NEET students will take. But for JEE mains, they will definitely keep it mathematically intense at times. Cool? Everyone understood how to solve this? Let's go to the next thing, and that is acceleration. Acceleration is how quickly your velocity changes. That's it. So acceleration is the rate of change, rate of change of velocity, is the rate of change of velocity. Now here we'll just talk about average acceleration, not the instantaneous. Instantaneous we'll keep it for some other day in the non-uniform motion, not now. Average acceleration is how much is your change in velocity. That means final velocity minus initial velocity upon the time taken, which usually is capital T. So change is nothing but delta, and time I can put it as interval, so small t with delta over here. So that is the formula for your average acceleration. The SI unit of acceleration is meters per second square, and of course it is a vector quantity. It has directional information within it. So if I tell you as an example sake, there is some car which was going like this at maybe 30 meters per second, and then the car suddenly moved this way at 10 meters per second, and it turns maybe in maybe 5 seconds. Can you find the average acceleration of that car? Okay, can you find the average acceleration of the car? Definitely we can do this question. So as per my formula, average acceleration is change in velocity by the time. So final minus initial divided by the time taken. So let's think what is final, what is initial, and what is the time taken. Time taken is obvious. It has changed the velocity in a matter of 5 seconds. So I'll put 5. Finally, it is going like this with this velocity of 10. So final velocity is 10. And initial velocity, as you can see, it is 30. So a lot of kids are going to put 30 over here, which is definitely wrong. You'll be like, sir, what is wrong, sir? Final is 10. Initially, it was 30. Time is 5. See, most of it is correct, but there is a mistake in the sign. Can you guess? Can you guess? Ankita, this chapter is usually used as a combination with other chapters. Sometimes it could be like a rod is moving inside a magnetic field and there is a force acting. What will be the speed after some time? So you have to use kinematics plus the knowledge of your 12th standard magnetism. Sometimes it could be like there is an electric charge and there is a field over here, and then this displacement is done in this much time, then find the charge, etc. Again, you will need kinematics along with electric charge concept. So usually you can have combination questions, but solo questions, one or two. Okay. Right. And there is no point of asking weightage because NEET 2025 has given a reality check because they have changed the patterns, they have changed the weightages. High weightage has become low weightage, low weightage has become high weightage. There is no point discussing the weightage anymore. Yeah, so we have to do everything. Nobody knows. The problem here is the sign. 30 is not like this, it will be minus 30, and the reason is because if I take one side as positive, the other side is going to be negative, and each of them are vectors. Be careful about it. Yeah, this is a vector, this is a vector. So the directional information is very important. So if I take this as 10, this will be minus 30 because the direction is exactly onto the other side, negative side. So that is the most common mistake. So minus minus is plus, so it will become 10 plus 30 divided by 5, which is 40 divided by 5, which is 8 meters per second square. Now, since I got the acceleration as 8 meters per second square, which by chance is positive, which means the acceleration direction is towards the right side. If I got the acceleration as minus 8, then the acceleration will be towards this side. So in this situation, the acceleration of the particle is towards your right hand side, which is the assumed positive direction. Is this clear? How to be careful with the sign convention, how to write the signs. Always assume some direction as positive. So all the vectors in that direction is positive, against it will be negative. And if you follow it properly, then you will get the final answer also with the correct signs. Else you will make blunders. Now, a lot of times I ask kids, what is the meaning of retardation? And then they say, or deceleration, then they say, sir, negative acceleration means retardation. I'm like, who told you this? Sir, we learned in school, I learned in this coaching. I'm like, nonsense. That is not true. What, sir? Really? So, negative acceleration is not retardation? Definitely not. See, I'll tell you what. Imagine scenarios like this. Okay, imagine scenarios like this. All possibilities, velocities this way, that way, acceleration this way, that way, and one final case where there is no acceleration only. Now, if you look at these scenarios, observe acceleration is positive, here acceleration is negative, here acceleration is negative, here acceleration is positive, here to acceleration is zero. If you ask about velocity, velocity is positive, here velocity is also negative, here velocity is again negative, here velocity is positive. Notice how when both acceleration and velocity, both acceleration and velocity are having the same sign or the same direction, then you will see that because it is accelerating in the same direction, the speed will increase. The vector of the velocity will become longer and longer. Acceleration is in the direction of the velocity. Acceleration will ask the velocity to change in its direction. So it will pull that vector of velocity, it will make it longer. Longer means the speed is increasing. So the speed will increase. The speed increases. The speed increases when both acceleration and velocity are in the same direction, when both the acceleration and the velocity are in the same direction. But imagine a scenario like this where the acceleration and velocity are in the opposite direction. Then the speed will decrease. The speed decreases. The speed decreases when both acceleration and velocity are in opposite are in opposing or opposite directions. When your acceleration and velocity are in opposite directions. Example, I throw a ball up, the ball's velocity is up, but acceleration due to gravity is down. Clearly, they are in opposite directions. The moment they are opposite, the speed begins to reduce. The acceleration tells the velocity, hey, become shorter. I am asking you to change like this. This acceleration is asking this velocity to reduce, to change in this direction. So it will definitely reduce. This is absolutely clear. Okay. Okay. Charan, definitely you can watch the lectures over here, or you can watch my DNA batch classes. I'm teaching along with PNJ sir. I'm taking the problem solving everything, and plus you are getting my last year's recordings of DNA batch in that same thing. So you're getting, in a way, 2 years of DNA 25 and DNA 26. Okay, and you have PNJ sir, who is an IITian himself. Okay, and me, I'm there in the batch as a mentor. Plus, you are getting the recordings of the 2025 batch. So I think that is the best thing. So just you can try it out. The DNA batch 2026. The link is there in the description. Don't buy the combo because you have already purchased some other batch. I would say just buy the pure DNA batch. That will be the best option for you. Okay, cool. There is a separate JE channel, creative channel. There is a separate JE channel. So please watch my classes on the JE English channel. It's there over here. This is a Vedantu NEET English channel. We have a Vedantu JE English channel also. So over here also, I am there. So you can watch my classes. Perfect. All right. Cool. So this is the second scenario. And in the third scenario, what will happen? There is no acceleration. There is no acceleration means when there is no acceleration, that means the velocity is going to be constant. Such a motion is said to be uniform motion. It is said to be uniformly moving. It will not change. Constant velocity it will move when there is no acceleration. So all the three possibilities I have given. So as you can see, negative acceleration can also increase the speed, but it is the opposite sign which traditionally causes the deceleration or retardation. So this is said to be retardation or also deceleration. Deceleration. This is one and the same thing. So acceleration can be positive or negative, that is irrelevant. It should be opposite in sign. Okay, everyone, till this point absolutely clear? Let me know quickly in the chat box. Okay. Yes, sir, this is clear. Now, we are going to use this acceleration concept to solve questions. If I know velocity, if I know speed, can I, if I know velocity, if I know acceleration, can I find how much time will it take to achieve this velocity? Can I find how much will it displace? If it has moved this much, then how much will it accelerating? After how much time, if I break with this much retardation, will it stop? After how much distance will I achieve this top speed? How much time will I take? All these kind of questions are called kinematics. Kinematics means the study of motion. I'm not interested why it is happening. I'm interested how it is happening. Why is called dynamics. Why did the car move? Why did the apple fall? Why am I getting slapped? Why am I falling down? All this are why, which is dynamics. How I am falling, with what speed, after how much time is that apple going to hit, how much distance is my hand moving before it slaps. That is kinematics. So we discuss over here uniformly accelerated motion. What is the meaning of uniformly accelerated motion? Uniformly accelerated motion means that acceleration is constant. Acceleration is going to be a constant vector. It will not change. Sometimes this, sometimes that. No, it will have a constant value. So imagine this. Acceleration is constant. And let's say this is my vector of acceleration. And maybe I had some initial velocity. Let me call it as u, let's say. And I started moving. I had some kind of displacement over here. So let's say that displacement is s. And after some time, I have achieved some velocity over here. So maybe this is your final velocity. So this is your initial condition, this is your final condition, and that this is nothing but the displacement that you have undergone. And let's say we have taken time of t. This is the time which you have taken to achieve that new velocity or to cover the displacement. So when you have to deal with such questions, usually we'll know few of the things you will not know. So how to deal with them are the equations. So in those equations, if you put one of these, you get the remaining variables. So very useful to solve a lot of questions on motion, how things are happening. For example, the first equation relates the velocity as the initial velocity plus acceleration multiplied by the time. The next equation relates the displacement. So the displacement is initial velocity multiplied by time plus half times acceleration into the square of the time. Half times acceleration into square of the time. The last one is the square of the final velocity is the square of the initial velocity plus 2 times acceleration multiplied by the displacement. Okay, those are the basically three equations of motion. First equation, second and third. There is a fourth one which will be coming to it in a bit. For now, let's use only these three. Number one thing in this, remember acceleration must be constant or else you cannot apply it. Second important thing that you should keep in mind, that they are sign sensitive. So the equations are sign sensitive. That means if you do any mistake, you will get a wrong answer. And you assume one direction as positive, automatically other direction will become negative. Accordingly, solve the question. So be careful, they are vector quantities. So be careful about the signs. Cool. Do you remember these equations from your 9th grade? How many of you remember it? V is u plus at, first equation. S is ut plus half at square, second equation. Third equation, v square is u square plus 2as. Fourth equation coming in a bit. Shall we now understand how to apply it? Everybody with me? Yeah, let's understand how to apply it. So let us say, for example, there is a Pandu over here. This Pandu is initially moving at 2 meters per second and is having some acceleration of 5 meters per second square. Then at t is equal to 4 seconds, I want to know what is this Pandu's velocity and how much has this Pandu moved in this process. I want to find these two things. So how do we exactly do this question? As we can see, we have to find the final velocity. Initial speed is given, acceleration is given. So most likely we can use v is u plus acceleration multiplied by time. As you can notice, initially the person is moving right side. Let me assume right side as positive. It is obvious that the left side will be negative then. Okay, so initially I have a velocity of 2, which is positive. Acceleration also towards the right side, so positive. The time taken is 4. 5 4s are 20. So it will be 22 meters per second. 22 meters per second. I also want to find out the displacement. Most likely I can use ut plus half at square, or v square is u square plus 2s. It is one and the same thing. So if I use ut plus half at square, initial velocity is 2, the time taken is 4, plus the acceleration is 5, and the time taken is 4 again. 2 4s are 8, plus 4 square is 16, 16 by 2 is 8, 8 into 5, that's going to be 40. 8 into 5, that's going to be 40. So 8 plus 40, which is 48 meters. So final speed is 22, and how much I have moved is 48. That's it. Is this clear, everyone? Come on, guys. Waiting for your answers. Yes, no. Tell me something. No, sir. Yes, sir. Dot. Hello. Bye. Tell something. Don't behave like zombies. You guys get lost sometimes. Sir, I'm feeling very dizzy, sir. Sir, I got fever, sir. looking at physics class. Don't sell all those things, because if you get fever, then what will you do when you enter the operation theater? What will you do when a patient comes to you? There are many more complex things which are going to happen in life, and it's not physics. Physics is probably then going to be the easiest one. Then you'll be like, oh, my NEET days were only good. At least physics, some questions only know, problems only know, I can solve it. Okay? So that's how it is. So in this, Ankita, all that was asked was, there is some dude over here who was initially, he was moving at 2. He has some acceleration. After 4 seconds, we want to know what is the final velocity and displacement. So I take right side as positive. You can take left also as positive. I've taken right side as positive. So my initial velocity u is 2, acceleration is 5, and the time is 4. Since I want to find v, I will use this equation, because I know this, I know this, I know this. So that's why I use this equation. Speed is 2, acceleration is 5, time is 4. 5 4s are 20, 20 plus 2, 22. Okay. Since I want to find displacement, I can use this kinematic equation. U, T, everything is known. So let's substitute that. U is 2, time is 5, 2 4s are 8. Then half into acceleration. Acceleration is 5, time is 4. 4 square is 16. 16 by 2, 8. 8 is here. This 5 is as it is. So 8 plus 8 into 5. 8 5s are 40. 40 plus 8 is 48 meters. Okay? Interesting? Perfect. Shall we go ahead, Ashok and everybody else? Okay, let's do some questions. So I have some questions for all of you, and here it is. There is a car which goes at some speed. Oh, by the way, you should know this conversion factor. I forgot to tell you this. Imagine if some velocity is given in kilometers per hour. If you want to convert it into meters per second, that is usually the case, then you multiply that velocity with the number 5 and divide it by 18, you will get the answer in meters per second. I'll give you an example. Let's say you have to find 36 kilometers per hour. So if you convert it into meters per second, so take that 36, multiply by 5 and divide it by 18, which is going to give you 2 into 5, which is 10 meters per second. Similarly, let's say you tell me it is, I don't know, 180 kilometers per hour, sir. I'm going very high speed. Okay, no issues. So you multiply that 180 by 5 and divide it by 18. So this will go 10 times. 10 into 5 is 50. So 50 meters per second. Okay, everyone, this is how you can solve the questions if you have to do that conversion. And I can see that there is a conversion most likely required. A car is going at 40 kilometers per hour. And if you apply the brakes, then it stops in 2 meters. Now the car speed is doubled. What is the minimum stopping distance? Okay. So see, let me understand this question first. Initially, the car was going at some speed, 40 kilometers per hour. Let me assume that velocity which is there as u, initial velocity. The car brakes and stops right over here. If it stops, what is the final velocity? Obviously 0. Because you are stopping, you are retarding. That means your acceleration is probably like this, negatively directed, oppositely directed. Okay. And you're stopping in a distance of 2 meters. Fair enough. So if I apply any kinematic equations for this, time is not a part of this process. So the only kinematic equation is the third one, which does not have time. V is u plus at has time, s is ut plus half at square has time. V square is u square plus 2s, does not have any kind of time in it. Correct? So let me use that and see what happens. V square is u square plus 2 into acceleration into s. Final velocity, well, is 0. Initial velocity is there, let's say it is u. Acceleration is also there, and the displacement is 2. Acceleration I don't know, so I'm just putting the displacement value. So if you notice over here, 4 times of a negatively will become u square, and I'll just leave it to this. I will not touch this now as of now. Okay, I'm just leaving u square is minus 4a. Just forget about it. This is what I can maximum do using the first part of the problem. Now listen to the second part. That part says my velocity is now 80 kilometers per hour. Okay, that means how much is my speed? If it was 40 was u, 80 will be nothing but 2u. So 2u is my initial speed. Think of it like that. So I will stop after some x meters. I will stop after some x meters and my final velocity will be 0. So if I again use this kinematic equation, v square is u square plus 2as. Final velocity, of course, is 0. Initial velocity is not u, it is 2u. Makes sense? I'm not doing that conversion because unnecessarily it will complicate the question. If I put the values and all of that, I feel that we are dealing with too many numbers there. Maybe I'll put in variables because I just saw the speed getting doubled. So I'm guessing the distance will also either be doubled, tripled, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. So I'll just figure out how much is the new distance in terms of the previous one. That's why I did not do the conversion, although it was in kilometers per hour or whatever. Okay, plus 2 times acceleration times the displacement. Displacement is x. Perfect. So this 2x will come over here. So it will become minus 2x. 2 square is 4. So 4u square. 4 and this 2 cancels. So minus ax is equal to 2u square. So this will be minus a times of x is equal to 2 times. Can you see u square over here? What the hell is u square? Check this out. What is u square? U square is minus 4a. So just put it over here. So minus 4a. Perfecto. So what happens? Just check this out. A minus minus cancels. Therefore, x will be equal to 2 multiplied by 4. But that answer will be in meters. So it will be basically 8 meters. So this stopping distance will now become 8 meters. That is the correct answer. All right. Perfect. Awesome. So what a beautiful, beautiful question. Okay. And this also tells why accidents happen. If I'm traveling at a certain speed and by past experience and history and my intuitions, I know I can stop maybe in 2 meters. Then someday you are like, full josh, road is empty, I'm accelerating, double the speed. So in my mind, I'm thinking, I will stop. Oh, my speed is doubled. So the stopping distance also will be doubled. So earlier I used to stop within 2 meters, maybe now I'll stop in 4 meters. But that is not true. Actually, I'm taking 8 meters to stop. So that clearly tells that our intuition does not work the way actually things happen. And that is one of the main mistakes which students do while studying physics. They make their own laws, and you too would have experienced it. If this happens, this is happening. So if that happens, that should happen. That is law. This is like this is like this. It's opposite and equal, Newton's third law. This is that way. If it becomes 2 times, this should also become 2 times. Not necessarily, guys. Just because something increases does not mean other things will also increase same way. It could be root, it could be square, it could be cubic, it could be anything proportional. So this is a very good question on how intuition fails you in real life and why you might hit the other object in real life and encounter some accident. Okay, perfect. Moving on to the next question on your screen, and here it is. A particle moves in a straight line with a constant acceleration. It changes the velocity from 10 to 20 while passing through a distance of 135 meters in t seconds. The value of t is. Let's draw it. Sravana, you can watch my JE class also. It's not a big deal. I've done that over here on the Vedantu JE English channel. It's the same thing. I mean, you will not find much of a difference. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah. Just watch this class, vernier caliper, micrometer, screw gauge on the Vedantu J English channel. It's the same thing, okay? There's not much of a difference. Cool, Sravana. All right, Kadimpali. All right. So let's draw. Without drawing, how can we proceed? Let's draw. It is moving constant acceleration, changes velocity from 10 to 20. So maybe earlier it was 10, then it becomes 20. And in this process, it has moved 135 meters. Okay, so this is 135 meters. Original velocity 10 meters per second. Final velocity 20 meters per second. How much is the acceleration? I don't know. How much is the time taken? That also I don't know. Oh my God. So question is to find time. Now you might think, sir, very easy, no? V is U plus AT, sir. Okay, fine. V is U plus acceleration into time. Final is 20. It's on the right side, positive. Initial is 10, again on the right side. So let's see positive. Acceleration, I don't even know. So how the hell am I supposed to find the time? Oh, that is the question, huh? Problem, sir? Yes. The problem is I don't know the acceleration, man. Sir, problem is incomplete. Hold on, nothing like that. Always they give you minimum information. Maybe you have to use some other equation. Which equation, sir? Okay. Maybe the third kinematic equation, because final initial speed and displacement is given, I can use third equation. V square is U square plus 2 into acceleration into S. Final speed 20, so 20 square. Okay. Initial speed 10, so 10 square. Acceleration do not know, displacement 135. 20 square is 400. 10 square is 100. Oh, sorry. Plus 135 into 2. 13 into 2, 26, so 260. So it will become 270. So 278. Perfect. Bring this over here. So it will become 400 minus 100, which is basically 300 is 278. 0, 0 cancels. 0, 0 cancels. So A will become 30 by 27. Now 30 by 27, well, that is divisible by 3. So it will become 10 divided by 9 meters per second square. So put that acceleration over here, 10 by 9. Now it kind of makes sense. Let's see how do we do it. So this 10 goes over here, becomes 10. So 10 is equal to 10t by 9. 10, 10 cancels. So 1 is equal to t by 9. Therefore, t is equal to 9 seconds. My job is done. And hence the answer is D for AIIMS Delhi, 9 seconds. So we have to use two equations. Sometimes one equation may not do it. Sometimes you might need 3, 4, 5, 10 equations. But don't give up. As many equations as needed to solve the question. Cool? Hello, Tuticoron. Welcome. What is it, like the whole school is watching or what? Because you put the school name only. Okay. Moving on. Next question coming up on your screen. And nice to see students from Kerala out here. I can already see Kadampalli Appu. I'm guessing you are from Telangana or Andhra. Stravani, I think you are from Tamil Nadu, I'm guessing. Nice to see all of you guys. Okay. Welcome aboard, all my fellow South Indians. And nice to see all of you out here. Okay, so how do you do this? Find the total displacement of a body in 8 seconds, starting from rest with some acceleration. Everything is in centimeters, huh? So we have to use CGS, not SI. Let's draw the diagram. It starts from rest. Okay, if it is starting from rest, initial velocity is 0. And it has moved some amount, which I do not know, S. And it is taking basically 8 seconds over here, 8 seconds over here, and acceleration is also mentioned. How much is it? 20 centimeters per second. So I'm guessing the second equation will save me. S is ut plus half at square. Think about it. Yep. So if I use S is ut plus half at square, what is the displacement? I do not know. Initial velocity is 0. So forget this guy. Acceleration is 20. The time taken is 8. So 8 square. So therefore, the displacement will be 20 by 2 is 10 multiplied by 8 square is 64. So 64 into 10 is 640 meters. So 640, sorry, not meters, it is centimeters, because everything was in centimeters over here. Yeah, so this will also be in centimeters, which is 6.4 meters, by the way. If it was asked in meters, it will be 6.4, but it will be in centimeters, 640 centimeters. Is that right, everyone? Clear about this? Perfect. Shall we go ahead to the next question on your screen? And here it comes. A bullet loses 1/20th of its velocity when it passes through a plank. What is the least number of planks required to stop the bullet? Very interesting. So imagine we have a plank like this, and when that bullet enters this plank, it is entering in with some velocity, let's say u, it loses 1/20th of the velocity. It loses 1/20th. So if 1/20th is lost, how much is remaining? Obviously, 19/20 of that velocity. So 19/20th of that velocity is remaining. So if initial speed was u, 19u/20 will be remaining. Now this is after one of that plank. This is one of that plank. Now just imagine we put 2 planks or 3 planks like this. So one plank is there, then another plank is there like this. Okay, we put 1 or 2 planks. So if it enters with some speed of u, when it reaches here, crosses to the next plank, it will have a speed of 19u/20. Next plank, it will lose more u/20 speed. So 18u/20 will be there. So every plank, it will keep losing 1/20th of its velocity. And if you keep seeing that again and again, you will see this next number will be 17u/20. So after how many planks do you think the speed will become 0? It's now very obvious. It's now very obvious, guys. Think about it. The last plank, u/20 speed will be there, and finally it will come to a halt. It will lose everything that it had. So how many planks do you think you will need? This was the first plank, this is the second plank, this is the third plank. What will be the last plank, guys? Think and tell me. Yep. How many planks are required to stop the bullet? 1/20th of its velocity passing through the plank. What is the least number of planks required to stop that particular bullet? Yeah. The answer will be yes, 20, right? Now, if you notice in the question, none of the options has that number 19 or 20. Can you see that? Yeah. Every time u/20, u/20. So like that, 20 planks would have been needed. That is what many people will think the answer should be, but 20 will not be there in the option. By chance 20 was there in the option and you mark it, you will still get negative marks. So that is why this becomes a tricky question. This becomes a very nice and tricky question. Lot of students make a mistake. See, it is just mentioned in the first scenario, it loses 1/20th. It does not say in the next plank, it loses again 1/20th. So you cannot just assume that just because first time in the first plank it lost 1/20th of the velocity, next plank also it will lose 1/20th. That will be completely incorrect assumption. So that is why this part is definitely wrong. Is this clear, my dear warriors? Why this does not work? There is no reason to assume that the same thing will happen later on. This is what I was talking about, intuition. You just intuitively believe that that is happening. Oh, so what to do, sir, now? See, assume that the plank has some width of x. Plank has some width of x. And assume in that process of entering the plank, there was some retardation. Let's say I call it A. There is some kind of retardation. This retardation is uniform. That is very, very important. This retardation will be uniform. So if I use final velocity square is initial velocity square plus 2 into A into S, what I'll get? Final velocity is 19/20 times of U whole square. Initial velocity is just u. Acceleration, I do not know. displacement is basically x. Okay, so this will become just 381, 19 square is 381, divided by 400 multiplied by u square is u square plus 2a into x. So therefore 2ax will be this minus this. So it will be 381 by 400 minus 1 times of u square. So therefore 2ax will be, check this out, 381 minus 400, yeah, that is basically 19. So it will be nothing but 19 divided by 400, but with a negative sign, and there is u square over here. So from this we can get the value of 2a, or basically just the value of acceleration. Acceleration will be minus 19 u square divided by 2 into 400 is 800, and of course x over here. So I got the value of acceleration in the plank, or the retardation in the plank. It is negative because it is retarding, and this will continue in the remaining planks. That is the concept that we'll have to use. That is the concept which we'll have to use. So imagine this continues, this journey continues, but I don't know for how long. Let me assume that distance to be y, after which it completely stops. And in this journey, it had the same retardation, same initial speed. How much is this stopping distance? Again, use v square is u square plus 2s. V square is u square plus 2s. Final speed is 0. Initial speed is the same speed. Acceleration, I can use this from here, which is minus 19 u square divided by 800x, and multiply it with the displacement, which is nothing but y. So I'm just using that retardation which I found over here as it is. So let's see what do we really get. Bring this on this side. So you will get you will basically get 2 multiplied by 19 u square multiplied by y divided by 800 x is equal to u square. Now cancel couple of things, like u square and u square will get cancelled. This 2 will go with this 800 400 times. Okay, perfect. So what do I have over here? I have 19y is equal to 400x. 19y is basically 400x. So therefore y will be equal to, just check it out, everybody is able to see this, everybody is able to see this, yeah, 400 divided by 19 times of x. What is this number going to be approximately? 400 divided by 19. Come on, my dear students. Yeah, 400, if you divide it by 19, how much are you going to get? Approximately close enough to 21. Close enough to 21 point something you are going to get, yes or no? Yeah, what does this mean? What does this mean? Come on, quickly think and tell me, guys. It means this is 21 point something, approximately 21 something. So what? You will need basically 21 planks, because each plank will be of width x. So y is 21 times of x, means you will need basically 21 planks out there. That's all that means. Okay, clear, my dear warriors? Yeah, options are not matching, but this should be the answer. 21 times of x. Maybe they have done a printing mistake or something like that. Anyways, moving on now to the next question coming up on your screen. There is a particle having certain speed, constant acceleration, moving with 15 seconds, straight line. What is the displacement in the last 2 seconds? Displacement in the last 2 seconds is the question. Having some initial speed. So let me show the initial speed as 10 meters per second. And acceleration is also there. How much? 5 meters per second square. And total time is basically 15 seconds. Now, what is the meaning of last 2 seconds? Last 2 seconds means maybe this particular part. This is what we have to find. How much is this distance? So this particular time will be 13 seconds. So 15 minus 2 is 13. So these are the last 2 seconds. So in this time interval, how much has it moved? That is the question. Okay, let's see how do we exactly do it. There's no direct formula. We have to go by the basics. Well, if I want to find this, maybe I find the total distance and I find how much it moved in 13 seconds. If I know how much it moved in 15, how much it moved in 13, this minus this, whatever is remaining will be x. Oh, yes, perfect. So that x which is there is nothing but the displacement in 15 seconds minus just this much. This is the displacement in 13 seconds. This is the displacement in 15 seconds. So from this, if you subtract this, whatever is remaining is x. So minus displacement in 13 seconds. So how much is this going to be? Use ut plus half at square. Yep. We are just going to use which equation? S is ut plus half at square. That's all. So initial speed is 10. Time is 13. Okay. Time is 13 plus half into acceleration is 5 and time square, which is basically 13 square. So that is this. And then what is this going to be? U is 10, time is 15, okay, plus half into 5 into t. T is basically 15 square. So subtract the two, you are going to get the answer. So solving this, you are going to definitely get the answer. So try it out. It's not that difficult. 10 into 15 and 10 into 13. So 10 is there, 15 is also there, and 13 is also there. Plus half is there, acceleration is there, here 15 square and here 13 square. So 15 square minus 13 square. Come on, do the math and quickly tell me what is the answer that you are getting. Yeah, come on, my dear warriors. Zoology class, I'm not sure. It should be there. Just check. It should be there live on the channel only. Come on, guys. How much is the answer coming out to be? Is it coming out to be 160 meters? Just check it out. Yes, 130 meters. Everyone with me? Zoology class should be there here only. What is today? 23rd, right? Oh, it is going to be there next week, I think, for some reason. Yeah, I think this week you have mainly Baswa Sir's classes, and I think zoology classes most likely. Wait a second. I can see this one is there, but these are questions. But most likely it will come up very soon. For some reason, it is not showing. This is 23rd. This is 24th, 25th. It is showing maybe on 26th or something. Okay, let me just check. Okay, make PCM CBSE classes. PCM CBSE classes already there. You can just search on the channel, or you can just go to Vedantu JEE English channel. For boards, if you want proper theory classes, just search for CBSE. You will get it over here. Yeah, you'll just get it over here. Right over here. Current, electricity, P by Qs, everything you can get. But usually we concentrate on the board exams towards the end, not now, because our main primary focus is the competitive exams like NEET and JEE. It automatically carries the weightage and the load of CBSE. Okay, so if you're watching the NEET JEE classes, that is good enough. All right. Now let's do the last type of question, which is the displacement in the nth second. That is the fourth kinematic equation. So imagine something in motion, maybe having some velocity, having some acceleration, and you take some time over here, let's say t, and you go back exactly 1 second, exactly 1 second. So t minus 1. So let's say over here the time is 5 seconds, 3 seconds, whatever. You go back exactly 1 second before. This displacement that you do is called as the displacement in the nth second. So displacement in nth second, in the nth second, is given by the symbol Snth, which is nothing but you take the total displacement in n seconds, you take the total displacement in n minus 1 seconds. From this, you take out that. So it is Sn minus 1. When you substitute, just like the previous problem, what we just did over here, S15 minus S13. So just imagine S15 minus S14. Okay, just 1 second before. If you do that, the answer that you get for displacement in nth second is u plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1. This is the formula that you need to remember. This is your fourth equation of kinematics. Displacement in the nth second. Displacement in the nth second. That's it. So now very good. Okay. Just check it again, lovers. Maybe you would have made a mistake. Yeah, it should be 160 meters only. Okay, just check it out. Just to give you an example of this. Okay, just to give you an example. Imagine there is a vehicle which is moving at 40 meters per second and it has an acceleration of minus 5 meters per second square. Can you find the displacement in the third second? Can you find the displacement in the third second? That is the question. So displacement in the third, that means n is 3. Okay. Initial velocity is 40. Acceleration is minus 5 divided by 2 multiplied by n is nothing but 3. So 2 into 3 minus 1. Okay. How much will it be? This will be as it is 40 minus 2 3s are 6, 6 minus 1. 6 minus 1 is 5. 5 by 2 will be there. So minus 5 into 5 divided by 2. So this will be 40 minus, this is 25 by 2, which is nothing but 12.5. Now 40 minus 12.5, that is 27.5 meters. So in the last second, it would have moved these many 27.5 meters. Cool? Okay. So I'll tell you, usually that common problem happens for any NEET or JEE aspirant, that your school is teaching something, JEE syllabus is going somewhere else, but eventually it will merge at the end of it. So don't focus right now so much on your school, because school level is here, NEET JEE level is here, JEE Advanced and Olympiads is much higher. So focus on the JEE preparation. Eventually, full syllabus test when it starts, that's when your scores begin to matter. Class test up and down, unit test up and down, it's okay. Explain it to your parents that I am going to, boss, focus on my competitive exam preparation. In this DNA Sigma batch, I am learning this. I am going to complete my syllabus. Eventually, you will do everything and then easily you can do it. Your last 2-3 months are more than sufficient for your board preparation. I'm not saying ignore your boards completely, but do bare minimum. Don't waste your energies there. Learn from JEE perspective. Now, maybe when you are learning some JEE chapter, maybe it has not yet been taught in school. Complete it on your own from board's perspective. Or if it is already done in school, do it from board's perspective simultaneously. Because it's only theory questions, PYQs, definitions, derivations, which you'll have to do. So if you're studying a chapter, do the board's part simultaneously. But just don't do two things parallelly. Board chapter number 5, JEE chapter number 7, that is going to take away a lot of your time. Cool? All right. So that is how you do this question. Let's do this NEET 2021 question. A small block slides down, starting from rest. Let Sn be the distance. In n minus 1 to n, the ratio of Sn by Sn plus 1 is how much? The ratio of Sn by Sn plus 1 is how much? Sn, starting from rest. Well, u is 0 plus, remember I'm using this formula. Sn is u plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1. Okay, that's the formula I'm using. Initial speed is 0. It's clearly mentioned. Initial speed is 0. Plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1. Whole thing divided by, again, here initial speed is 0 if I use the same formula, but this is for n plus 1th second. So wherever you see n, put n plus 1. That's it. If this was n plus 3, instead of n, you put n plus 3. It's just a value which you are replacing. So a is a only. I do not know. 2 is 2 only. So 2 into, here you will put n plus 1 minus 1. Okay, 0 plus anything is anything. So it will become a by 2 into 2n minus 1 divided by, again, a by 2. This will become 2n. Okay, 2 minus 1 is basically 1. That's it. A by 2 will cancel. So 2n minus 1 by 2n plus 1. That is the answer. So 2n minus 1 by 2n plus 1. That is the correct answer. Clear, everyone, with me? Okay, so these are the kind of PYQs and level of questions that you should be at least doing. And that was the answer over here. And we have reached the end of the class. I've given you one homework question. Please solve it. Okay, I'll just show it to you once again in case you have missed it by any chance. Yeah, this was your homework question. Please solve it. Answer, I want to see it in the comments. Even if you're watching it recorded, don't give that excuse. Build that consistency, because the moment you start thinking, procrastinating, and leaving things, you will never do it. So do it today, do it now, finish it off, complete the backlogs. Don't give excuses, because your NEET exam is not very far away. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for subscribing, and stay tuned on the #1 NEET English channel, which is Vedantu NEET English. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.